As is usual, the coffee chat is in session, and joining me this morning is my colleague Masego Rahlaga. Good morning.
Good morning, Xoli. How are you?
And we're also joined by Sunday World editor Makhudu Sefara. Thank you, sir, for making it.
Good morning.
To the coffee
Thank you for having me.
I know it was tough waking up. All right, guys, let's begin with the story of Samantha Khatebe. That's the lady I just spoke about in the intro. Remind the viewers again what happened to her, and importantly as well, the police minister's visit to her home yesterday.
Well, Xoli, what happened to Samantha was it was the first day of school. Schools were reopening for the new academic year. She had just come back from work, just simply getting home. She got off a taxi. She wanted to get home to her son. She leaves home for work very early in the morning, so she didn't get to see him when he goes to school in the morning. And she was telling her family tells me that she was telling them that she cannot wait to get to see him in his school uniform and ask him how his first day in grade 1 was. And just literally not even 20 steps away from her home, she was killed she was hit with a bullet from the back.
Where did this bullet come from?
Well, you know, contrary to the police statement that they were chasing suspects in a stolen vehicle and the suspect started shooting at police, so a shootout ensued, witnesses say they didn't see anybody else shooting except the police. They say police came from another direction. As soon as the suspects saw the police with guns, they surrendered, they had their hands up. And then when one suspect tried to flee on foot, that's when the police shot. Everybody agrees to have heard 4 shots, and one of those shots hit Samantha in the back. So what happened yesterday was the police minister going to the family, as well as the family of the injured man. And it was very interesting, Xoli. The injured man couldn't speak to us because he was shot in the stomach, and the bullet exited through the back. So he couldn't get up from his bed to speak to us. But his brother, the first thing his brother said was, I was called to the hospital to go see what happened to my brother. When I got there, I asked him what happened, and he said, I was shot by police. And of course, the brother asked him, what did you do? And the man was like, nothing. I was just coming home, and I was shot. I saw them. It was a police officer who shot me. So that corroborates the story of the witnesses. And so IPID is investigating, and we're yet to hear from them. The police minister asked that the case be prioritized. So we're hoping soon we'll find out what those ballistics say.
Makhudu Sefara, you wrote in your newspaper yesterday about the importance of the security sector, and the important bit that you speak about is not sending people to that particular sector who barely made it through matric.
Yeah, I mean, the thing for me was out of the Maponya funeral that, you know, many of us looked at the 4 decorated officers fumbling what was supposed to be a very simple drill. And we laughed. And, you know, others did a Maponya police challenge. You know, on social media, recorded themselves doing all manner of funny things. And I just thought, you know, this is what we do as a country, that when something major goes wrong at major events, we find funny elements out of it and we forget about it.
Sure.
And the thing for me was that many of the people that we have in the security sector are not like your bright sparks that come out of matric. They're people who receive, you know, the controversy around the 30% pass rate. Many of the people who receive that kind of thing. So right now, you know, it's back to school. We're talking about people who got degrees into universities, TVET colleges, you know, but there will be some intakes in a few days or weeks, and some of those are the people that we collectively as a country will entrust them with the security of our nation. We will entrust them with bringing down the crime rate in our country. When the police minister releases the stats, and we are horrified, as we ought to be, we'll look at that and say, what's the minister going to do? But, at the back of the ranch, the minister is relying on some of these people who barely made it through matric, and who, when they are in the streets of Joburg and, there's a scene, it becomes quite a complex thing, because the entry requirements for people to become officers are so low. And so when Samantha gets caught up in a situation like that, you just wonder whether, had we taken the security arrangement, the security departments, the entry requirements into the police seriously as a country, whether she'd still be alive.
And it's a good question to ask. It's a very good question to ask, because there's no reason why that woman will not see her son grow up.
After his first day of school.
Yeah.
The rest of his life.
Let's have a look at the front page of the Mercury, guys. And the main headline there is got to do with the mystery that surrounds the student's fall, fatal fall, that is, on the N3. But the headline that we are going to pursue or exploring this morning is down below: Makhudu denies party discord. Makhudu, this has to do with the NEC that is currently meeting in Centurion this morning. What is happening with the ANC? Are they really concerned with the state of our economy and underperforming SOEs, or does it have to do with factional battles, particularly ahead of the NGC this year?
Yeah, I don't know why the SG bothers to deny, because it's very obvious to everybody watching that, there's even, things like "I stand with Pravin" or "Pravin must go." It's very clear, it's very public. So the denial doesn't serve any purpose, or it doesn't help him achieve anything. In fact, if anything, it just helps us understand that we need to treat what he says with caution, because if he denies things that we see are obvious, it discredits many other things he's going to say later. But to the core issues at the NEC, I don't really know whether, the meeting that is underway until today is dealing with the proper diagnosis of the problem, and if at this point we should be dealing with the diagnosis or we should be reviewing the prognosis of what went wrong with the NEC, with the state-owned SOEs. Because when you appoint people to go and head ESCOM and to sit on boards to review the actions or work done in the SOEs, you give them a mandate. So there ought to have been common understanding of that mandate, and we should be talking about, or what the SG should be saying to us is, this is what we asked them to do when they were appointed, and this is what they have done, which is not in line or is in line, and so therefore negating whatever public outcry about Pravin must go that is out there.
And it talks to those much needed, what do you call them, performance agreements signed with the ministers. Maseko, I know you
sometimes not signed
to comment on Pravin Gordhan and whether he has survived and all the rest of the allegations, but sadly we are out of time.
We are out of time.
Yeah.
All
but
right.
Thank you very much for making it through.
Only a
Maseko
pleasure.
Thank you indeed. And Makhudu Sefara, thanks indeed.
Thank you for having me.
With us.